Welcome back. In this video, I will share 2 student-centered activities you can use with your students to practice morphemes, especially affixes. So the first morpheme activity practices affixes. The objective is for students to identify affixes in words and sort them by meaning. So first of all, you're going to divide your students into groups of 3 or 4. And the teacher will need to have prepared some materials. So the first thing you'll need to have prepared is a set of header cards. Each group is going to receive 5 header cards with the meaning of an affix written on each card. So here are some examples. So next the teacher will need to have prepared some sentence cards, and these sentence cards are going to be placed face down in a stack. So here are some examples of sentence cards. The ballet dancer spun around the dance floor, the students were very helpful, or there was a misunderstanding about the task. So you'll notice that the words with affixes are underlined, and the teacher will have already underlined those words. So to do the activity, each student will take turns drawing a card from the stack, and they will read the sentence. So for example, they'll read, the ballet dancer spun around the dance floor. Then the student will need to read the underlined word and identify the base, the root word, and the affix. So for example, they would say the word dancer, and they would say the root or the base word is dance, and the affix is ER. And then the student will need to place the card under the correct header card. So in this example, the affix is ER, which means one who, so they place it under the card, the header card that says one who. So students can continue until all the cards are placed under the correct header card, and then the teacher can circulate to answer any questions or verify any answers. As an extension, groups can rotate sets of cards and do the activity again. So ideally, each group will have a different set of cards, and they can do this activity a few different times. As another extension, you can make this into a competition and time the students to see which group can finish the fastest. So this is a good practice activity because it's controlled with specific answers. Now I'll share with you a morpheme activity that helps students produce words and sentences with affixes. So this is a production activity. The objective is for students to produce words with affixes and to use them in a sentence. So first of all, you're going to divide your students into groups of 3 or 4, and you're going to need to have prepared some materials. So here are the materials that you'll need. You're going to need a game board like the one shown here. Each circle on the game board has a different affix on it. You're also going to need some dice, 1 die for each student. A dictionary would also be helpful. And then you're going to need some game piece markers. So to play the game, students are going to take turns rolling the dice, rolling the die, and then moving the number of spaces that are indicated on the die. They're going to look at the affix that they land on, and they're going to think of a word that has that affix, and that uses that affix, and then they're going to use that word in a sentence. So for example, if they land on the affix FUL, they can say the word helpful, and they might say a sentence such as, my classmates are very helpful. So if their answer is correct, they can keep their game piece on the new space. If not, they return their game piece to the old space. And so the teacher can circulate to answer any questions or verify any answers, and the students should continue until each player reaches the end of the game board. This is a great production activity because it's open-ended and students need to produce words and produce sentences with affixes. So I hope these activities are helpful and that you can use them in your classroom with your students sometime soon. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.